Welcome to U Talk. I'm Megan Demolina, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Our show is all about the middle school student. Testing, bullying, dating, stress, and so much more. We discuss it all. Joining me each month is a dynamic and engaging panel of middle school students ready to discuss the issues and tackle the tough questions. We kick off our show with some Q&A, featuring questions on a variety of topics from middle schools throughout the school system that our panel of students are ready to answer. No question is too tough, no topic is too difficult. All right, panelists, here's question number 1. Hi, I am in middle school and have ADHD, but my teachers say I have to figure stuff out like organization on my own, and I'm also very shy. Any advice on how to overcome shyness and organization issues?
Well, in your class, you can try to get to know other people, or you could just participate in after school programs to really know many people and get to get used to the school and all these other people. And so what you could also do is at a school there's this thing called Operation Organization, where you go on every Tuesday and you just stop and you organize all your stuff if you really need to. And yeah.
You can also ask teachers for folders and helping tips, and they usually give you a planner at the beginning of the year, so you can use that to help you write down everything and remember your homework and where you put everything.
That's a great strategy, using the planner, taking advantage of different programs and things that are set up within your schools where the teachers and staff members are offering help to get organized and help you actually meet new people by joining activities and clubs and getting involved. Anything else that you would recommend for the student who's shy and needs some organizational support?
If you're shy and you're not comfortable being around people, maybe talk to a trusted adult or a parent or a grandparent and see if they can help you organize, because it's tough to get used to new people that you're not familiar with. So maybe talk to someone you know well.
It's really important in middle school especially to learn how to advocate for yourself, and it is hard when you're shy and reserved to kind of put yourself out there and ask for help. But it's such an important skill to learn early on in life, because you'll continue to do that and need that skill for high school and college and your jobs and careers someday. Great, let's go on to the next question. This one says, I am scared of the news on TV about war, and it frightens me that the USA will get attacked. Please help. I don't know what to do or what to believe on TV anyway. Sorry this was short. Hopefully this was good enough. Definitely short, but not far from all the news that's in our world today, and it's actually a big part of our show today and what we're going to be talking about in the next segment. Any advice on how to help students that feel like this, or anything that you've experienced personally that you'd like to share?
Well, this is a big issue because there's also fake news that's on social media and all of that, so you can't really believe all of it, but you should probably be aware of the world around you, and just you have to feel good about your country, and you have to have trust in your country, and make sure that you don't think another territory will win against y'all. We have good military, but you should definitely be aware of what's going on.
Aware and informed, prepared, and talking it through. Even just now, I'm sure that helps a little bit too, because you brought up a really good point about fake news, and it's really hard to know what's real and what's not, and what to believe. And sometimes I often tell students that it's really important to almost dial it back and think about what you can control in your day-to-day activities and routine. What do you think, Maggie?
I know a lot of people that don't, this is very controversial, but I know a lot of people that don't necessarily trust in what our president of our country is doing today, because many people don't think that he's making the right decisions for the country. But if they let the president do his thing, this is what most people voted him in to do this for our country, to take care of our country and make sure when war doesn't break out, and if it does, then he should have it under control. So know that people higher up in the government are taking care of us.
It certainly is a very big topic right now that a lot of people are discussing. Are you talking about it in your classrooms? Are teachers having healthy conversations and dialogues with all of you about it? Are you able to share and express your thoughts fairly? Do you feel like that's happening in classrooms? And everybody has their own opinion, of course, about what's out there, what to believe, what's real, what's not. But it's really important to come together and just kind of think about how we have this process in place, and we are a strong nation, and we can get through a lot of things, and we have. So we'll continue to do that, right? Resiliency, right? There's that word again. We keep bringing it up. Our last question is from a student that says, I am busy every second of the day, and I never have time to finish my homework until really late at night. I have soccer practice and dance classes both twice a week. I never get to hang out with my friends or do fun things like that. And homework and 3 instruments, lessons plus practicing all of them. The thing is, if I don't do all these things because I physically can't finish them all, everyone gets mad at me. It's way too much pressure, and I'm so stressed out that I cry like every day. When I tried to explain the situation to my mom, she got mad and said that I was complaining, and I was very lucky to be able to do all of these fun things. I know that I am, but there's so much riding on all of it. What can I do to cope? Please help.
You can talk and sit down with your mom and tell her like how you really feel and how much pressure you're going through, and then she'll most likely understand. But if she doesn't, then you can do your best, and that's just do your best.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, everybody needs to just do their best, their personal best, and some days are certainly better than others, but if you keep track and use your planner and stay organized and try to cipher the real news versus the fake news so that added stress and pressure doesn't get added in there, then I think we'll all be okay, just
Maybe-
one day at a time.
Maybe you could talk to her about maybe not necessarily like dropping one of them, but maybe scaling back on the amount of time and
Sure.
stuff that you have to do with your outside
There,
stuff from school, because I know there's a lot of stuff. Me and my brother used to have really complicated schedules because I used to have soccer, and then it was not freaking out because of my schedule with school.
Right.
So once you get it planned out, you can always maybe schedule time to do different things in your schedule.
Yeah, there's a definite need for balancing, and everything is definitely in moderation, right?
Well, and it's like ultimately natural. It's natural to cry and to just be worried over these things, because like you have so much to do, and if your mom's like not really helping you with this, you have like a reason to cry. And like sometimes I cry over some little things, and so it makes sense. And he needs to balance and all of that stuff. Like just
Right.
try to have time for all of it.
Exactly. We're all human, and we all have emotions, and you need to process those emotions and talk to a trusted adult or someone who cares and can take the time to listen and help you balance everything that you have going on. All right. That wraps up our UTalk Q&A. Now coming up in our next segment, my co-host Paige Turner talks with the panel about recent current events and their impact on school life. From the Parkland shooting to the mail bombs in Austin, Texas, the world is an extremely unsettled place. What effect does this chaos have on the mindset of middle schoolers? We'll talk about it when we return. Don't go away.
Start your day with New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show. This Rise and Shine program will put a smile on your face and a spring in your step. Best of all, you'll start the day a little smarter. The Morning Show features an exciting 6-hour mix of exclusive features, cooking, entertainment, news, science, math, and more. New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show, educating all viewers to achieve today and tomorrow in a global community. Only on this channel.
Welcome back to UTalk. I'm Paige Turner, school counselor at Noble Middle School. With each click of the mouse or flip of the channel, our society is inundated with headlines focused on natural disasters, sexual harassment allegations, countries on the brink of war, teen suicides, and mass shootings. While none of this is new, the bombardment of these stories is unique to this generation of student. Social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and questionable media sources have become their own newsworthy headlines. As a result, life can appear dark, far darker than in pre-social media days. This is the topic our panel will discuss today, as well as the impact these events have on their own lives. So guys, I guess my first question is where do you learn about current events, things that are going on in our world?
I get mine off my TV or my phone, and then usually in social studies class we watch Channel 1 News, so that gives us a lot of updates on what's going on.
Okay, so some of it's outside of school. Do all of you watch Channel 1?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, I guess we all do.
Okay, so all the social studies classes are doing Channel 1. So you guys clearly, kind of understand and know what all's been going on, in the last weeks, months, years. What are your thoughts on everything? Is it something that you kind of think of frequently, or do you just kind of hear it, see it, and then it pops out of your mind?
I mean, it kind of just surprises me. I mean, there's the sexual harassment allegations, and there's so many of those that's been going on the past year, and the natural disasters like Hurricane Harvey or something. Yeah, and how that happened, and there's so much going on in the U.S., and it just kind of really surprises me. Yeah.
I definitely think about it, and it kind of almost scares me, the stuff that's been happening lately. This stuff has always kind of been happening, but now it's kind of really popped out at me, and I'm kind of really, I think about it normally throughout the days and stuff, and the My 17, the school shooting in Florida, that definitely scares me because now I'm kind of scared about the security of schools and what could happen at schools.
Right. Well, and you guys being in middle school, you made a great point. This is not something that is brand new. I mean, there's been violence, as long as, we can remember, and things that have been happening, but you guys are at the age where you're able to comprehend and understand. When you were much younger, you either didn't hear about it or know about it because you were being kind of protected and shielded from it, or two, you just couldn't really kind of understand the depths of what was going on.
And my teacher, my ELA teacher, she tells us about the news, and she says she doesn't even turn it on at her house because she has 2 younger children, and she doesn't want them. I know she says they might not be able to comprehend it, but she still doesn't want them being poisoned by the news.
To it. Yeah.
I think some parents, they shield their children too much, and then when they finally do let them out and experience all the news and what's happening on in the world, they get scared and frightened. So I think if you slowly let them see what's happening and not give them as much violent stuff, you do the smaller things first, then go on, then it's not as scary.
Right. Well, and I think, you said that you kind of get a lot of this at home, from the news or, on your phone, and even watching Channel 1. Those are opportunities. Hopefully at home you're having those conversations with your parent. So it's not you just reading it and having to process it on your own. You have a trusted adult, like James said earlier, to kind of help you process that. At school, hopefully your social studies teachers are engaging you guys in conversations, not just saying, okay, here, this is what's going on, good luck.
Yeah.
So.
My parents, they kind of, they didn't want me to be scared of what's happening, but they wanted me to be more aware of it. So if I see signs, to kind of take them in and know what to do in that situation.
Absolutely. It's kind of like knowledge is power sometimes.
And so I have a phone, but they will put some restrictions on it where some of the news stuff, so that I'm not getting all the alerts of the stuff, because they're still trying to, like I said, they want to make you aware, not scared of what your environment is.
Right. Because it is constant almost. If you were to get those alerts,
you get those alerts all
it would
the
be
time.
nonstop all day. And, it's good to be aware, but not to be completely inundated and obsessed with it.
Because
You know?
sometimes the news is like good things that happen, and which I really like, or some things like lately the death of Stephen Hawking, and I was personally not aware of that until a while ago, not a few days afterwards, and all of my friends were like, "Oh, who's this guy?" I'm like, he was one of the most famous people, and they weren't really aware, and he was in the news a lot, and their parents shouldered them, and they asked them if they saw a lot of the different news videos, and a lot of them didn't see it because of his theories, and they're shouldering him, and it's not. I understand why you want to keep them not necessarily in the dark, but like not being scared of what they see out in the world. And some of the news is awesome about how kids more stuff is being developed to help kids, but some of it's also really bad about different bad things going on in the world.
Well, you know, you certainly don't want to live in a bubble, because one day you will be out in the real world, and you don't want to be completely shocked with everything that you hear. But like Ms. Demolina said earlier, being able to kind of focus on what you can control in your immediate kind of environment, the people that you come into contact with on a daily basis. So do you guys talk about this stuff with your peers? And we talked about talking to an adult about it, but in just general conversations that you guys have, do you talk about current events?
Yeah. With my parents, we were just talking about it the other night, like about the 17 people who died, and like we were talking about like what do we think about like gun violence, and how we could pretty much like be more aware of it, and where people can try to stand up for it, and all of that, just trying to fix it.
Right, coming up with solutions.
Yes.
Instead of just focusing on the problems.
I definitely talk about it with parents and some other kids at school and see what they kind of think. But then again, I'm in middle school, and that's kind of the age where a lot of kids make jokes and stuff about stuff. So I've had some friends that are making jokes about this, and it's really not funny. It's a very serious situation that we should be aware of. It's not something to joke around about.
Right. Absolutely. And you do have to kind of worry about that with this age.
Yeah.
Just because you're just moving into the time where you can process. And some people, they may be truly deep down inside scared. Some kids might be scared, and that's their way of coping, is kind of laughing and making jokes, which is completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
But that could be their way that they're coping with it.
They don't want to actually share their true feelings.
Absolutely.
They want to kind of go along with the rest of them to fit in, but
Absolutely.
you gotta show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that it sounds like you guys are being exposed to kind of what's going on in our world, and that's a good thing, because you are able to kind of process it, be aware for your safety and knowledge, and are talking to adults and peers when it's appropriate. So, yeah, I think you guys have a good handle on it for sure. Thank you. All right, thank you, panelists. Don't go away. When we return, my co-host will continue talking with our panelists about the My 17 movement, the ongoing efforts to cope with recent tragedies, and their thoughts on school safety.
Your company can join these local businesses in offering students with disabilities the much-needed experience to compete in today's job market. For young people with disabilities, participating in mentoring programs, job shadowing, and internships are great ways to make them stand out among other job applicants. If your company would like to add a student intern, then contact the Special Education Department now at 910-254-4445.
Welcome back to UTalk. In light of the recent tragedy in Parkland, Florida, New Hanover County Schools, along with districts across the nation, launched innovative initiatives to support students and help them express their concerns about this tragedy and school safety. The first initiative was an anti-violence campaign called My 17, and another was called See Something, Say Something. In our final segment of the show, we'll discuss those efforts' effect and how our middle school students are responding. First of all, panel, how did everyone feel about the My 17 Day that we had in New Hanover County Schools on March 14th?
I felt really good that they're trying to bring awareness to like all these to the 17 people who lost their lives that day, and it's such a big tragedy, and it's really just sad to think about. That's what's going on in the world that we're living in today, and that we have to cope with that. And so I think it was really good for them to really dedicate the 17 minutes and to really just think about those people who died.
I think it was really empowering. Like when we did it, I think it was really empowering of how like effective it is and how like strong and how big of a deal this is and how like just scary to think about this happened.
Well, there was for our school, we had a school-wide, we had a 17-second arm chain inside the school, but if you wish to participate, you could go outside to the blacktop where our recess takes place and do it for 17 minutes, stand in silence. And me and my friends, we went out to the blacktop and we had made a chain, just some of us being respectful, and one of the teachers told us to move back so people could see us what we were doing, and by the end of the 17 minutes everyone had joined our chain in silence, but some of the kids didn't really take it seriously, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. They didn't take it seriously and they laughed and screamed, and it wasn't respectful at all.
Yeah, it's important that what you're sharing, you know, it's a very important day. It was really wise of our school district in New Hanover County to take that time, to dedicate that time for personal reflection. And I think a lot of people learned that day about, you know, how can you protest peacefully and how can you come together, more importantly, as a community, and offering school-wide events, community events, and different initiatives and different ideas and activities that students and staff members and parents and our community members can participate in to just raise more awareness, spread more kindness, and do so in a peaceful way, obviously. I think that's more importantly overall what the goal and intention was for the My 17. What about the See Something, Say Something campaign? Have you heard students talk about that, or did you see anything happen on the My 17 Day? I believe
they put
there were
artwork in our school, and personally, I liked there's this one where it's white and it has this girl staring back at a post on her phone, and it has in big bright red letters say "See something, say something," and it's a kid with a gun that had posted on, I think, Instagram or something like that, and I liked it because we watched videos about the My 17 thing, about how many people just saw it and skimmed right by it on their phone and didn't.
Learning how to look for
bother.
the signs and making sure that people know how to say something and see if they see something. You know, important facts to know when you need to report to a trusted adult, so that you can be proactive.
I saw this thing on Instagram and it said like how they weren't, like people were just ignoring things. Like it was a video and it's like how people just like, they see someone with like a gun but they just scroll past it and then like don't even pay attention to it, and then those are usually people that end up shooting up schools and being like people that are being excluded, which are often people being ignored. That like people don't see the signs and then they like get hurt and then they like get mad and they get frustrated.
You bring up a great point, Alyssa, about how can we, as middle schoolers, as people, include others in everything, at the lunch table, at recess, in the classroom, when we get new students in our school, in our class.
Like,
what are some thoughts and ideas?
Like make them feel appreciated.
Absolutely.
Like make them feel like there's a reason for them in the world, and make them really like belong, because they're regular people just like you and me, and if you can't just exclude them or bully them, and it's really sad to think about how these people would just not include these other people, and it's just really
Right. Including others is a win-win for sure.
It's definitely important to treat these people nice, because a lot of these people that are acting differently normally have some kind of mental problem, and that's why it's kind of important to accept them, because it's harder on them than it is the rest of us. So it's definitely, you should be extra kind to them, extra helpful, offer them to come sit with you at the lunch table, play with them at recess, do stuff with them. I remember on March 14th during the My 17 thing, that enrichment class, we watched a video. It was, I'm pretty sure it's labeled Evan. It was about this
Evan Sandy Hook Promise.
Yeah. He was going around in the background. It showed signs of a kid that was going to potentially shoot up a school, and it showed that kid was getting bullied. He was getting kind of ignored. No one sat with him. He was alone at the lunch table.
Like isolated.
Yeah, all by himself, and that's what makes him think, oh, I'm gonna show people that I'm important. I'm gonna like try to do something or punish everyone else because, and that's when that whole mental health thing starts coming into play.
What was there about that day when we had that My 17 enrichment class and the activities that we had at Noble that day? And I know that a lot of other schools were doing several different community activities and incorporating My 17 into their school day. Was there anything about that day that stuck with you or made an impact on your life or even changed the way that you interact with others since then?
That you should treat everyone with kindness, and because you never know, the people might be going through some different things than you, and they might be going through some different problems that can affect them more, and you never know. Unless, I mean, you always have to treat people with kindness, and you should always be loyal and trustworthy to them.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Maggie. I appreciate that. I wish we had more time. This is such an important topic. Thank you, panelists. Well, that wraps up our program this month. I'm Megan Demolina. On behalf of my co-host, Paige Turner, and the entire UTalk panel, thanks for watching. We hope you'll submit questions to our show and tune in again next month for an all-new episode of UTalk.